Coming up on OU Nightly, we have a substantial severe weather risk for parts of central and eastern Oklahoma. All modes are at play, and I'll track all of it coming up.
With storms heading our way, we have how to keep your car safe from hail. And tribes come together to help keep Native American languages alive. We have that and more coming up. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. We begin tonight with a tornado watch for the campus area and most of central Oklahoma. The largest team of collegiate meteorologists in the nation is in the OU Nightly weather office tracking storms as they fire up in other parts of the state. OU Nightly senior meteorologist C.D. Finley is live at the weather desk with more on that tornado watch.
Thanks, Spencer. Though it's right, we have a tornado watch in effect tonight until 9 o'clock, so we are going to be keeping track of that. But it's not just tornadoes that we're keeping track of. The main threat is going to be big hail. So I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Carla McCreary with more information on that.
Thank you, CD. This evening and afternoon is not something to be taking lightly. Once again, as CD said, we do have that tornado watch extending into majority of central and eastern Oklahoma. So that is something we are keeping an eye on until 9 p.m. tonight. So be sure to have ways to receive weather alerts into this afternoon and evening. As for right now, though, what we are seeing is a few spots on the map are starting to light up, but we're only going to see it start firing up even more into this afternoon and evening, especially into central parts of Oklahoma. You can see down to our southwest already a severe thunderstorm warning near Wichita Falls and up extending into the northeastern part of the state as well. But we are going to send it over to OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brain at the parking garages. Lauren.
That's right, Carlin. I am here on top of the OU parking garage here where spots have already started to fill up for the day to try to hide those cars from that incoming hail threat. Now, they are starting to ticket in the faculty and staff parking spots. They want to make sure that you are also not parking in parking spots that aren't considered to be a parking spot. You want to make sure that you are parking in actual spots. But we're going to have more on that, how you can protect your car from hail coming up.
Thanks, Lauren. With a chance of hail on the way, you'll want to make sure your car is protected. Hard to do when you live on or near campus and don't have a garage. OU Nightly's Bailey Coyle has some ideas on what you can do.
If you can, the best option is to park your car in a parking garage or park under a covered area. But if you can't get your car in a garage, it's recommended that you cover your windshields with a blanket or a towel.
You're outside. You can park under a tree, or you can lay maybe even a large beach towel over your windshield, or maybe a large thick piece of cardboard. You can also fold in your side mirrors. That's something you can do to maybe protect the glass.
Matt Peters, the general manager at Wheels of Norman, says the thicker the blanket, the better.
The thickest blanket you can get, like preferably a moving blanket, one of those large ones, kind of a big wool one, anything that can take an impact of probably around 25 miles per hour or harder.
He also says it doesn't matter which way your car is facing when the storm hits, although
the back glass is more expensive than the front glass to replace. So, parking away from the storm, it'll protect your windshield, but your back glass will cost more to replace.
Zach Mullen at First Class Dent Removal says not to move cars during the storm to protect yourself, but also as that's when most minor accidents happen. He said, quote, "These incidents are not covered under a comprehensive policy and are under the collision policy, which requires filing 2 different insurance claims, and the damage from the minor accident is often worse than the hail damage. It's best to check to make sure you have a comprehensive coverage in your insurance policy before the storm hits." Reporting, Bailey Coyle, OU Nightly.
Most insurance companies have an app. Check there to find out what kind of hail coverage you have.
And be sure to sign up for OU Nightly's weather call to find out about severe weather warnings.
Scan the QR code on your screen to register or search Weather Call in the App Store. For $1 a month, you will receive a call when severe weather alerts are issued for your area.
Let's get to some of today's headlines while we continue to keep an eye on the weather situation. An Iranian senior commander is dead after an airstrike in Syria. OU Nightly's Darby McCormick is following this and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Iran promises a, quote, decisive response blaming Israel for the deadly airstrike. Authorities confirmed senior Iranian military commander Haji Rahimi to be the second commander killed in the attack on a consulate building in Damascus, Syria. Along with Rahimi, 5 other people were killed in the strike, including diplomatic staff and military advisors. In Baltimore, a week after the collapse, pieces of the Francis Scott Key Bridge are being removed. Crews are preparing a temporary alternate channel near the old bridge for crucial commercial ships in the area. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says that it could take weeks for the Port of Baltimore to fully reopen. And in Dallas over the weekend, 2 luxury vehicles believed to be racing wrecked, causing 4 other vehicles to crash out as well. Now police are searching for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. They say he owns one of the luxury vehicles involved in the crash. Rice's attorney says in a statement that he is cooperating with local authorities. And take a look at this new video. In New Mexico, an Albuquerque officer had to chase down a suspect on horseback. Traffic stop for a man who they believe stole from a pharmacy.
Thanks, Darby. From drums to spoken words, just a few ways Native American languages are celebrated. But how to keep these indigenous ways of expression going for generations? OU Nightly's Kaylee Jo Hommel tells us about a language fair hoping to make sure the beat goes on.
When I get started up there, it's about the language that I learned, and it's spreading all around the world.
Sam Noble Museum continues to preserve Native American languages with its 21st annual Youth Language Fair.
It's so important for the youth to pick up the language for the next generation because they are the speakers that are going to carry the language forward.
Students from across the state and the nation gather right here to celebrate their cultures. With around 40 different languages that can be heard at the event, it makes it the largest fair for language diversity in Oklahoma.
This is a one-of-a-kind, special, unique event. Nothing like this happens anywhere else.
The event includes guest speakers, performances, and competitions aimed at celebrating Native American language. These students understand the impact of their participation.
So I think it's just important to be here so that we can express our culture without it being like a bad thing.
For the parents, the fair shows how their hard work has paid off.
This is something that I had to fight for since I was little bitty, to watch them just walk in it, and it's not a fight. And to see that here, it means that my own family is involved.
So that generations to come appreciate their past and take all of that into the future.
Reporting from OU Nightly.
The event continues Tuesday, highlighting the work of students from 6th to 12th grade.
Coming up on OU Nightly, college students are preparing for more FAFSA delays.
We have the latest from the Department of Education on what is stopping your financial aid.
And AT&T rolling out apologies after a massive data breach this weekend.
How to find out if you are one of the 73 million customers affected when we return. And the largest team of collegiate meteorologists continues to keep track of these storms and keep you updated.
There's yet another issue with federal aid financial forms. This time, the problem impacts about 1 million applicants. OU Nightly's Olivia Hayes is following the issue.
Victoria, the Department of Education says that some colleges received the wrong information about families' finances. Administrators put the blame on inaccurate tax data from the IRS. This comes a week after a separate calculation error impacted several 100,000 forms. Now families are waiting to see how much financial help they'll receive, and students are in limbo waiting to decide where to go. I reached out to OU asking questions to see if this error affects current students. They sent a statement last week saying, quote, "The FAFSA application will remain open for students and OU will continue to process and send financial aid notification letters for incoming students throughout the year and semester before classes begin in August." And over the weekend, a data breach affects 73 million AT&T customers. The company says they're notifying those affected. The data was stolen from 2019 and earlier. If you think you've been hacked, experts say reset your password, put a fraud alert on your account, and consider a credit freeze to block someone from opening a credit card in your name. And this is no April Fool's joke. Tonight's Powerball drawing is sitting at $1 billion. Saturday's drawing marks 38 consecutive drawings without a jackpot winner. Spencer, Victoria.
Thanks, Olivia. Coming up on OU Nightly, an annual OU fundraiser makes its return.
Hear how you can invest in students next.
And your campus weather authority is tracking severe weather moving through the area. Up to baseball-size hail is possible. I'll track it coming up. Keep it here. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We have a lot to talk about this afternoon, and we'll start with taking a look at the campus camera. You can see cloud cover is becoming more and more prevalent across the South Oval right now, with temperatures sitting at 75 degrees. But if you take a walk outside, I'm sure you notice the mugginess in the air, the stickiness. This is one of the biggest ingredients for severe weather to occur across the state of Oklahoma. And right now, what is definitely contributing to that is the dew point sitting in the mid to upper 60s. So we're not getting any relief from that. And that is definitely adding fuel to the fire to these storms that we are already starting to see pop up on the live radar. If we take a look in a little bit of a look further to some of them, you could see in northeast Oklahoma, a few severe thunderstorm warnings near Caney, Coffeyville, Copen, Dewey, and Bartlesville, just past Pawhuska. So a lot of storms are already starting to fire up, even down into Texas as well. And what's important about these is they are eventually going to start to make their way up into our area, into south central Oklahoma. So this is definitely something that we're starting to keep an eye on, because this is what can cause some issues for us in the coming afternoon hours. But let's take a look at the setup that we are watching right now. As for current satellite and radar, where these storms are starting to fire up is right up in front of this dry line and in front of the cold front as well. So a lot of that moisture is moving up from the Gulf. So we have a lot of severe ingredients that are at play this afternoon. Once again, we have that moist air, the cold air from the Rockies behind that cold front. But ahead of that dry line is really where we're going to start to see that severe weather start to pop up into this afternoon and evening. And that is why we do have a moderate risk for severe weather out from the Storm Prediction Center. This is a 4 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center severe weather scale. So this is not something to take lightly. I cannot reiterate that enough. We do have a lot of large risks. All severe weather modes are in play, especially for hail. We do have a chance for up to baseball size hail, especially where you can see the purple, and in this hatched region, that is a 10% or greater chance of hail being significant with any point of a 25 mile radius. So that is something we are especially tracking into this afternoon and evening, along with the tornado risk. Once again, areas of central Oklahoma are in a hatched risk for substantial tornadoes into this afternoon and evening. So be sure to have your way to receive weather alerts along with the wind risks. We are also watching that in the eastern part of the state. Now, timing this out for you, you can see that we are going to continue to watch these showers and storms pop up into the later parts of today, right around dinner time. If you have any evening plans, might be a better idea to cancel those or stay inside, because this is really going to start to cause some problems into the rest of the evening and the rest of the day. And once again, they're going to eventually move to our east and northeast, where we're going to start to see that tornado risk ramp up even more than it is here. So that is something we are tracking, especially into the rest of the evening and overnight hours today. And we are going to get a little bit of a break from that in the next few days, but overnight tonight, just be sure to have that way to receive watches and warnings and have that severe weather plan already in place. Victoria, Spencer, do you guys have a severe weather plan in place for tonight?
Yes, my roommates take it very seriously. We kind of had a drill last week getting ready for storm season.
Yeah, I think that's my plan right now, is just to hunker down in the lower level bathroom with my roommate and dog.
It's a great idea. Well, thank you, Carlin, for keeping us updated on that. An OU Giving Day is tomorrow, and funds from the event help make this newscast possible. The broadcast programming fund lets students travel for shows, access new technology, and cover any costs needed to maintain the set. Gaylord's Director of Development, Breanne Miller, explains why raising money on Giving Day is so important.
is a way to support OU Nightly, Sooner Sports Pad, Game Day U. So this is a great way to support our students to tell the stories for our athletic events, to tell stories around Oklahoma for OU Nightly.
To give, you can go to Sooner.org and select a fund and dollar amount. And another men's basketball starter is on the move. That makes 3 to hit the transfer portal so far.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder stormed Madison Square Garden in New York last night. Emma McAndrews has more in sports.
Thanks, ladies. Oklahoma softball clashed with the Jayhawks up in Lawrence this weekend. And here in Norman, OU baseball took on Lamar. Find out who swept up the competition next in sports. Hello, I'm Emma McAndrews, and it's time for sports. The third Sooner from Oklahoma men's basketball has hit the portal, leaving yet another void for head coach Porter Moser to fill. After just 2 seasons at Oklahoma, sophomore guard Milos Uzan decided to enter the transfer portal Sunday. Uzan averaged 9 points, over 4 assists, and over 3 rebounds a game. He was the only player for the Sooners to start all 32 games. The 4-star recruit's absence leaves a starting guard job opening for Oklahoma. Start spreading the news. The Thunder took a big bite out of the Big Apple, taking down the New York Knicks Sunday. With 2.6 seconds left, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drowns this jumper to beat the Knicks 113-112. Jalen Williams added 33 points in the win, followed by SGA with 19 and Josh Giddey totaling 16. The Thunder clinched their first playoff spot since the 2020 bubble season with the victory, and this will be the first playoff game the Thunder have hosted since 2019. The Thunder have 8 games left in the regular season and will resume their 5-game road trip in Philadelphia tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. OU softball continued their series in Lawrence and took care of business on the road. The Sooners shut out the Jayhawks on Friday, posting a season-high 17 runs across 5 innings. And OU brought out the brooms for Saturday's game, earning their 4th straight Big 12 sweep with a 7-3 win. L. Mitchell Park saw some action this week as OU baseball hosted Lamar. The Sooners took a lead in the first, but wouldn't be able to stop the Cardinals' offense, dropping Friday's game 13-8. OU hoped for a fresh start Saturday, but would be edged by Lamar 6-3 in the series finale. Number 22 Oklahoma men's tennis racked in a road win over number 29 UCF Saturday. Freshman Kolo Montse clinched the match for the Sooners, picking up his 3rd conference win. OU will be back in Norman Tuesday to face number 10 Texas A&M at 6 p.m. OU women's golf finished the Bruisey Sunday in Ardmore, tying for 5th. Junior Reagan Cheney finished the 2-day tournament tied for 4th, shooting 2 over par for a total of 212. The Sooners wrapped up regular season play April 8th and 9th with the match play at Jimmy Austin. Victoria Spencer.
Thanks, Emma. When we return, a big announcement from one beloved OU social media account.
We have the latest on this shocking post next.
I'm Bryn Mead with an update from the Oklahoma Department of Transportation. With the solar eclipse just days away, Tim Gatz, the executive director of ODOT, says roads will be congested Monday. He adds if you want to take a photo, exit the highway before snapping a pic. ODOT encourages to use their Drive OK app for traffic updates, but they expect cellular service to be impacted. Totality of the full eclipse will pass through the state at 1:45. Victoria Spencer.
Thanks, Bryn. OU Barstool kick-starting April Fools, announcing the shutdown of all their social media accounts, including OU Chicks.
The accounts partner with Barstool Sports to bring campus-related content to colleges across the nation. And today, the post scared many Sooner fans, some falling for the account's pranks, while others seeing through the joke.
And as severe storms start to move into our area, let's check in one last time with some OU Nightly meteorologists.
Carlin, what can we expect with these incoming storms?
Well, one thing to definitely keep in mind is once again we are under a tornado watch for OU's Norman campus and extending on into the eastern and central part of Oklahoma until 9 p.m. tonight. So be sure to keep that in mind. Once again, our main threats for tonight is the tornado threat, which will start to rise just a little bit this afternoon and evening as we're tracking. And once again, the hail threat is just through the roof. So we are tracking all of those threats tonight. So be sure to keep it here with updates on OU Nightly. Victoria Spencer.
Thanks, Carlin, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.